sunlight bouncing off a 250-mile solar wall in Inner Mongolia. Does China's solar boom signal a new era for global energy?
Today's May 6th, 2025, and we're looking at a world where 92.5% of all new electricity capacity in the last year came from renewables. That's almost every new power plant, everywhere, running on something other than fossil fuels. But why did this happen so fast, especially in China?
The numbers are staggering. China added 277 gigawatts of new solar capacity in 2024 alone. That's a 28% jump over its last record. And it brings their total installed solar to 886 gigawatts. For context, that's more solar added in 1 year than the entire United States has in total.
The immediate question is, how? What did China actually do to make this happen?
It starts with policy. The 14th Five-Year Plan mandated peak carbon before 2030, net zero by 2060. But it wasn't just ambitious goals. In the last 2 years, China ramped up direct subsidies for solar and wind, cut permitting red tape, and poured money into mega-base projects, huge solar farms in places like Inner Mongolia and Xinjiang.
And it's not just about building solar farms out in the desert, is it? There's also a boom in distributed solar, rooftop panels on factories and commercial buildings in the east of the country.
Exactly. That distributed growth means energy isn't just generated far away and pushed across the country. It's being made and used right where it's needed. But all this new power needs to get somewhere. That's where the grid comes in.
China invested $85 billion in grid modernization last year alone. That's over 600 billion yuan. Why is this so crucial?
2 big reasons. First, you can generate all the solar you want, but if your grid can't handle it, you end up wasting energy. That's called curtailment, where solar farms are producing more than the grid can absorb. Second, China's big solar resources are in the northwest, but most demand is in the east. That's why they're building ultra-high voltage transmission lines, UHV lines, to move renewable power across the country.
Let's talk about the Great Solar Wall. What is it, and why does it matter?
The Great Solar Wall is a planned stretch of solar farms over 250 miles long in Inner Mongolia. It's a symbol of scale. One project that can power entire cities. It's also part of a broader push to make these resource-rich regions into energy exporters to the rest of China.
So what does all this mean for the global market? I've read that solar panel prices are dropping because of oversupply. Is that the whole story?
Yes, but there's more. China's massive investment and manufacturing scale have pushed down costs for everyone. Solar is now more cost-competitive than coal or gas in many places. That accelerates the retirement of fossil fuel plants and reduces investment in new ones.
Clean energy now makes up 10% of China's GDP, with solar contributing $390 billion last year. Is that just from power generation?
Not just power generation. It includes technology exports and manufacturing. China dominates the global supply chain for solar panels, inverters, and related tech.
But it's not all smooth sailing. What are the biggest challenges now?
Grid integration is the biggest. The pace of solar and wind growth has outstripped the grid's ability to absorb it. That's why so much is being spent on new transmission and smart grid tech. There are also supply chain constraints, everything from raw materials to skilled workers.
How is China addressing those challenges day to day?
Real-time grid management, energy storage like batteries to store excess solar for nighttime, and incentives for flexible demand. The idea is to use more power when it's abundant and cheap, and save when it's not.
For countries watching this, hoping to copy China's success, what are the takeaways?
Clear, ambitious policy, big coordinated investment, and a willingness to innovate, both in technology and in how the grid is managed. No shortcuts.
And the global impact?
Cheaper solar panels for everyone, faster shift away from fossil fuels, and a real-world example that large-scale decarbonization is possible.
Thanks for walking through that. To recap, China's solar boom in 2024 shattered records, drove global renewable growth, and changed the economics of energy. But integrating all that power is the next big hurdle.
And as the world tries to hit net zero targets, China's example will set the pace. Thanks for listening and stay tuned. This energy story is just getting started.